अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। आई होप आप सबको स्क्रीन दोबारा से नजर आ रही है और आवाज भी आ रही है। People is considering converting her sole trader business So Chipu is considering converting her sole trader business into a limited company because she thinks that this will make it easier for her to obtain finance for future expansion. Advise whether or not she should convert business to a limited company in order to obtain finance. Justify your answer by providing both advantages and disadvantages. If Chipu will convert her sole trader business to limited company, it will become a more formal business setup with lots of documentations and legal requirements that she will have to meet. The business will be a separate legal entity and her liability will be limited. Banks and other financial institutions prefer giving loans to limited companies rather than sole traders and partnerships. Banks and financial institutions prefer giving loans to limited companies rather than sole traders and partnerships. क्योंकि वो फॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर है, लीगल एंटिटी है, भरोसा ज्यादा होता है, ट्रस्ट ज्यादा होता है. Moreover, a limited company can also raise finance by issuing ordinary and preference shares. Are you all with me? अच्छा जी, advise Rani whether or not she should stop purchasing item D to avoid having obsolete inventory. Obviously इसका कोई preliminary part होगा जिसमें कोई inventory जाया हो रही होगी, इसलिए ऐसा पूछा है. कर दिया, बस इसने सिर्फ बोला था कि आप बताएं कि फाइनेंस के बारे में क्या है, कुछ सजेशन या एडवाइस नहीं मांगी थी. जी, बिजनेस एंटिटी कॉन्सेप्ट का नाम हाईलाइट किया जा सकता है. कोई काम एक्स्ट्रा शीट पे नहीं किया जा सकता है. Advise Rani whether or not she should stop purchasing item D to avoid obsolete inventory in future. Justify by providing advantages and disadvantages. लिखिए. Since holding inventory portals are working fine as per normal. Additional information जो space provided होती है sites पे उसी पे solve करी जाती है. Since holding inventory is resulting in inventory becoming obsolete, it is better not to hold excessive inventory. Instead, only that much inventory is kept as is needed. The business can also switch to just in time technique of holding inventory. The business can also switch to just in time technique of holding inventory as it will avoid storage costs, cost of damaged inventory, and chances of obsolete inventory will be minimized. The disadvantage of doing so will be that the business will the disadvantage of doing so will be that the business will not be able to meet sudden demands and will have to depend on suppliers. Similarly, if some customers will prefer buying D from the vendor with other products, then the business will be lost. Agree? कुछ कस्टमर्स ऐसे होते हैं वो बोलते हैं भाई मैं जहां डी मिल रहा है वहीं से बाकी माल भी खरीद लूंगा। तो अगर हम डी डिसकंटिन्यू कर देंगे बनाना तो वो बाकी माल भी वहीं से खरीद लेंगे तो हम अपना बिजनेस लूज कर सकते। सो डिसीजन ले लें दैट शी शुड कंटिन्यू मेकिंग डी बट शी शुड ट्राई नॉट होल्डिंग टू मच इन्वेंटरी। एम आई क्लियर? अच्छा क्योंकि हमारे पास फिगर्स नहीं है तो हम ये वाला पार्ट तो नहीं कर पाएंगे बिकॉज हमारे पास ग्रोस निकालने के फिगर्स नहीं है। होते तो प्रॉफिट फॉर द ईयर बिफोर इंटरेस्ट अपॉन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड से रोस निकल आता। जितना रोस ज्यादा होता है उतनी परफॉर्मेंस बेटर होती है। The directors of NPT Limited are considering using general reserves to pay bank overdraft. Statewide is not appropriate. The reserves of the company do not have cash in it. They are created from profits. जनरल रिजर्व में पैसे थोड़ी पड़े होते हैं, प्रॉफिट ट्रांसफर किया होता है। आर यू ऑल विद मी? तो उससे बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट रीपे नहीं हो सकता। पार्ट सी खुद ट्राई करें, फिर मैं डिस्कस करता हूँ। हो गया? The double entry for posting of the purchase journal entries is completed by posting the individual amounts to purchases ledger. कौन सा accounting principle apply हो रहा है? Dual aspect concept. The purchase of goods on 5th April did not include goods costing 55, which Bilal bought for his own use. Business entity concept. The stationery purchased on 6th April had been recycled. This is expected to improve the reputation of the business. Reputation is not recorded in the accounting statements. Money measurement concept. Agree? रेप्यूटेशन को हम पैसों में नहीं तोल सकते ना, तो मनी मेजरमेंट कॉन्सेप्ट। The value of office equipment shown in the financial statements was based on its purchase price. Historical cost concept. The directors are considering increasing dividends in 2021 as a way of increasing return on capital employed. Advise the directors how return on capital employed can be increased. Justifying your answer by both profit and capital employed. तो पहला काम तो मैं बोलूंगा रिटर्न कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड को डिफाइन करें. Return on capital employed indicates the returns achieved on the amount invested into the business. The formula for return on capital employed ROCE is profit before interest and tax upon capital employed into 100. By increasing dividends, there will be no impact on ROCE. मेरे डिविडेंड्स बढ़ाने से रोज पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा क्योंकि डिविडेंड प्रॉफिट में से दिए जाते हैं, प्रॉफिट भी चेंज नहीं हो रहा और कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड भी चेंज नहीं हो रहा. आर यू ऑल विद मी? So by increasing dividends there will be no impact on ROCE. ROCE can be improved by either improving profitability or by reducing capital employed or by adopting the strategy in which profit increases more than capital employed. बात समझ में आई? चले नेक्स्ट. The information in the accounting statements is affected by company's accounting policies. Explain to the directors of JKY Limited the importance of the following objectives in selecting the accounting policies. लिखिए. Relevance indicates that the financial statements must include all that information which is useful for all stakeholders so that they can make appropriate decisions. So that they can make appropriate decisions. Agree? Comparability. The financial statements must be made such that the financial statements of different businesses can be compared and their performance can be identified in order to take a better investment decision. In order to take a better investment decision. बात समझ में आ गई सबको? तो मैंने 4 चीजें बताई थी वैसे थ्रू आउट दिया कि फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स रेलेवेंट हो, रिलायबल हो, कंपेरेबल हो, अंडरस्टैंडेबल हो. आपकी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स रेलेवेंट, रिलायबल, कंपेरेबल और अंडरस्टैंडेबल होनी चाहिए. अग्रीड? चलें जी, ये सवाल पहले खुद लिखें फिर मैं इसका जवाब देता हूं. Advise club treasurer whether or not club members should be required to pay their subscription by direct debit. Justify your answer by providing 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. सोच समझ के लिखें. हमने कल भी इस तरह के सिमिलर जवाब लिखे थे तो मैं चाहता हूं कि आप खुद लिखें. अच्छा, जो रोस्ट वाला सवाल था उसमें रिड्यूसिंग एक्सपेंसेस, जब आप बोलते हैं ना प्रॉफिट शुड बी इंप्रूव, तो आप बता सकते हैं प्रॉफिट कैसे इंप्रूव होगा. हम एक्सपेंसेस को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, हम सेल्स को इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं, हम सेलिंग प्राइस को इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं, हम कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल्स को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. ये सारी बातें लिखी जा सकती हैं. चलें जल्दी से ये वाला रिस्पॉन्स. फिर मैं डिस्कस करता हूँ। If subscriptions are paid through direct debit, it will make transactions more transparent. Chances of frauds and errors because of cash handling will be minimized, and proper accounting records will be maintained. But by doing so, bank reconciliation will become more time consuming, bank charges will increase, and any member who do not have a bank account will not be able to pay membership fee. Thus, a mix of both payment of subscription through cash and payment of subscription through direct debit must be allowed. Am I clear, everyone? So, स्टैंडिंग ऑर्डर थोड़ी टाइम पे पेमेंट आ जाएगी, वो तो उस वक्त होता है जब स्टैंडिंग ऑर्डर होता है। डायरेक्ट डेबिट है, देर से तो पेमेंट आ सकती है। सही है, समझ में आई बात? अच्छा जी, आवाज आ रही है सही से? Advise Gok whether or not he should offer Eamon a partnership in the business. The wages paid by Gok are to his part-time warehouse assistant Eamon. Gok जो पेमेंट कर रहा है वो Eamon को कर रहा है, Eamon उसकी पार्ट टाइम असिस्टेंट है। अब वो सोच रहा है कि क्या वो Eamon को पार्टनरशिप दे या नहीं दे। टू एडवांटेजेस, टू डिसएडवांटेज। If Gok offers partnership to Eamon, he will be able to raise more finance, more expertise, and Eamon will share गॉक्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ये एडवांटेजेस हो गए. बट बाय डूइंग सो गॉक विल हैव टू शेयर profits with Aman, listen to her suggestions, and there might be a conflict between the two. Overall, if Gok is satisfied with Amon's performance, then offering her partnership is not an issue. हाँ, हम ये भी बोल सकते हैं, बिल्कुल डाल सकते हैं कि वो पार्ट टाइम एम्प्लॉय है. पार्टनर बन जाएगी तो फुल टाइम काम करेगी, ज्यादा अच्छा हो जाएगा. Currently, Aman is a part-time employee. Currently, Aman is a part-time employee. When she will become a partner, she will put all her efforts in the partnership. Am I clear, everyone? समझ आ रही है बात? The rate of inventory turnover for the year ended 30th April 2020 was lower than that of previous year. The trade receivables turnover days for the year ended 30th April 2020 was higher than that of previous year. Explain the effects of the change in inventory turnover. Inventory turnover was lower. अच्छा, rate of inventory turnover was lower. खाली inventory turnover लिखा होता और बोला होता लोअर हो गया है तो अच्छा होता, डेज कम हो गए हैं तो अच्छा होता. रेट ऑफ इन्वेंटरी टर्नओवर लोअर हो गया तो अच्छा नहीं है. लोअर rate of inventory turnover indicates that the business is having difficulty in selling its products. Thus, inventory is being overpiled, resulting in extra storage cost and fear of inventory being obsolete. Adversely impacting the working capital cycle and liquidity. Receivable turnover days are increasing, indicating that receivables are paying later than they should. Receivables are paying later than they should. Receivables देर से payment कर. This will also adversely affect the liquidity and working capital cycle of the business. Chances of irrecoverable debts will also increase. Done. बढ़े आगे. The directors are concerned about the level of trade receivables. They are considering introducing cash discount of 1% for payment within 21 days or charging interest on amounts outstanding after 30 days. Advise directors whether they should introduce cash discount policy or the interest charge policy. Justify your answer by providing one advantage but disadvantage of each policy. देखें और लिखा है या डिस्काउंट इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे या इंटरेस्ट चार्ज करेंगे. By offering discounts, the receivables will pay back earlier, improving liquidity of the business. But discount allowed will be an extra expense. By charging interest on overdue accounts, extra revenue will be generated and receivables will try not exceeding the due date, and receivables will try not exceeding the due date. But it might demotivate some customers who might shift to alternative suppliers, offering discounts on prompt payment is a better policy. Offering discounts on prompt payment is a better policy. उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा. हमें नहीं पता कि अमाउंट ऑफ रिसीवेबल्स कितने हैं. 1% बड़ा मार्जिन हो सकता है. Am I clear? चले complete the following table. Complete the following table by placing a tick in the correct column to indicate whether each would be used to update the cash book or would appear in the bank reconciliation statement. Bank error, bank reconciliation. Dishonored check, cash book. Bank charges, cash. Agreed? अनप्रेजेंटेड चेक का मतलब होता है आपने किसी को चेक दिया और उसने बैंक में प्रेजेंट नहीं किया, ठीक है? यानी आपने अपने कैश बुक से पैसे निकाल दिए, बैंक से अभी तक नहीं निकले क्योंकि उसने चेक ही प्रेजेंट नहीं किया। ऑन दी अदर हैंड, डिसऑनर्ड चेक ये होता है कि आपने किसी को चेक दिया, उसने चेक बैंक में जमा करवाया और आपके अकाउंट में मसला था, उस वजह से डिसऑनर हो गया, ठीक है? अनप्रेजेंटेड चेक उसने प्रेजेंट ही नहीं किया, वो बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन में जाएगा। डिसऑनर्ड चेक उसने प्रेजेंट किया, आपके अकाउंट में प्रॉब्लम था, पैसे नहीं थे, साइन गलत था, चेक खराब था, जो भी मसला था, तो वो एडजस्टेड कैश बुक में एडजस्ट हो। अच्छा, इस सवाल के बाद हम लोग मगरिब का ब्रेक ले लेते हैं। Gurjeet is considering paying amounts of less than $20 via petty cash. He would pay all larger amounts by bank transfer or credit card. He would also require his customers to pay all amounts due by bank transfer or card payments. Gurjeet would stop issuing and receiving checks. Advise Gurjeet whether or not he should make the above changes. Justify your answer by providing for and against making these changes. अब क्या क्या चीजें वो देखें। पहली बात वो कर रहा है, Gurjeet is considering paying amounts less than $20 via petty cash. पहले इसकी बात करें। If Gurjeet will pay amounts less than $20 via petty cash, he will be able to reduce the load of bank transactions. But it will increase chances of embezzlements, frauds, and errors. Agree? He would pay all larger amounts by bank transfer or card payment. Larger amounts, if larger amounts are paid through bank transfer or card payment, will make all transactions transparent, will make all transactions transparent and records will be maintained. But bank will make bank charges for such transactions. He will also require his customers to pay all amounts due by bank transfer or card payments. If customers will only pay by bank transfer or card payments, it will be good for proper accounting records to be maintained. But it might not be feasible for all customers to do so. If he stops issuing and receiving checks, it will be beneficial as chances of dishonored check will be minimized and paperless environment will prevail. But sometimes there might be a need for an exception. Sometimes there might be a need for an exception. If he stops issuing and receiving checks, it will be beneficial as chances of dishonored checks will be minimized and paperless environment will prevail. But sometimes there might be a need for an exception. State the meaning of the following terms. Bank overdraft. If the business withdraws more amount of money than is deposited into the bank, it is called bank overdraft. Am I clear? Bank charges are the amounts charged by the bank for providing services to the business. Am I clear? चलिए जी, let's take 10 minutes Maghrib break. We'll resume at 8 p.m. inshallah. I hope everyone is back from namaz. Let's resume. Say two reasons why Samir should use provision for doubtful debts. Prudence concept, matching concept दोनों को elaborate कर दो क्योंकि expected loss होता है. Matching concept to match expenses of one accounting period with the revenues of that. Samir is concerned about his ability to pay his trade payables. He is considering whether to stop allowing cash discount to his credit customers so that they will have more cash coming in and can pay his trade payables more easily. Advise Samir whether or not to stop allowing cash discount. Justify your answer by providing advantages and disadvantages. लिखिए भाई. If Samir will stop allowing cash discount, his receivables will start paying late, causing more liquidity crisis. His ability to pay payables will further reduce. If he will stop discount allowed, he might also lose customers as they will prefer buying from a vendor who gives discounts. Agreed? If discount allowed are stopped, discount expense will reduce. Thus increasing the profitability. Overall, stopping discounts is not a good strategy, and Samir should look into alternative measures. Is this clear? Suggest one other action Samir could take to ensure he has sufficient cash to pay his trade payables. Sell surplus non-current assets, obtain non-current liability, introduce additional capital, stop credit sales, and introduce cash sales only. Introduce cash sales only. पेटी कैश का नेचर क्या होता है? डेबिट होता है. नेक्स्ट हमने आई थिंक कल वाली क्लास में और लास्ट वाली क्लास में accumulate funds और income and expenditure लिखा था. Sarah is considering purchasing a delivery vehicle. She thinks that her sales would increase if she was able to deliver goods to her customers. She would charge a small amount to her customers to cover cost of delivery. Advise Sarah whether or not she should purchase delivery vehicle. Justify her answers by providing two advantages to desire for delivery vehicle. If Sarah purchases delivery vehicle, she will have her independent delivery service, which might improve her goodwill, sales, and eventually the profits. Delivery vehicle will also add towards her non-current assets. Delivery vehicles will also add towards her non-current assets. Buying delivery vehicle will increase her expenses such as depreciation, maintenance, and so on. She could also hire a rider who could deliver while she focuses on her business. एडवांटेज ज्यादा लिखे हैं तो हम फॉर में बात कर देंगे. Buying delivery vehicle is a good strategy. फ्यूल कॉस्ट बढ़ जाएगी बिल्कुल. State the meaning of the term revenue receipts. Revenue receipts are the amounts that comes into the business while which add towards profits. Saira has now received a bank statement and is comparing it to her cash book. Complete the table by writing increase or decrease or no effect in each of the box to show the effect of recording the items listed which appeared only on the bank statement. The first one is done. Bank charges. कैश बुक में बैंक बैलेंस कम हो जाएगा, कैपिटल कम हो जाएगा. क्रेडिट ट्रांसफर फ्रॉम सायरा's पर्सनल बैंक अकाउंट, नो अफेक्ट. कैपिटल इंक्रीज हो जाएगा क्योंकि एडिशनल कैपिटल है. अपने पर्सनल बैंक अकाउंट से अपने पेमेंट कर दिए. चेक फ्रॉम इवान was dishonored. बैलेंस इन द कैश बुक डिक्रीज हो जाएगा। कैपिटल पे नो इफेक्ट आएगा, क्योंकि रिसीवेबल बढ़ जाएगा, बैंक कम हो जाएगा। एक एसेट कम हो रहा है, दूसरा बढ़ रहा है, बैंक पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा। Then the going concern concept requires that Syra's financial statements are prepared under the assumption that a business will continue for an indefinite period of time. Required state why each external user of accounting statement would be interested in Syra's business continuing indefinitely. बैंक मैनेजर का क्या इंटरेस्ट है? He would want to know whether to offer her bank overdraft or bank loan if needed. अगर बंद होने वाला होगा बिजनेस तो बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट बैंक लोन नहीं देगा, इनडेफिनेटली चल रहा होगा तो दे देगा। गवर्नमेंट, so that they know the tax returns of the business, trade payables, so that they are assured that Syra will not become bad debt. Am I clear? Rice's trial balance was used to check the arithmetical accuracy of the ledger. His journal was used to correct the errors found. State one other use of trial balance or to prepare financial statements, income statement and statement of financial position. आप शॉर्ट फॉर्म यूज नहीं कर सकते, पूरा लिखिएगा। वन अदर यूज ऑफ जर्नल टू रिकॉर्ड नॉन करंट एसेट bought and sold on credit. State two advantage of preparing control accounts to avoid errors, to detect frauds. Next, one of the Lucas supplier has demanded an immediate payment of 3900 due to him. Lucas does not have enough sufficient cash to pay this amount. He is considering selling some office equipment which had cost 6,000 and has been fully depreciated. Lucas had been offered 2,500 cash for this equipment. Advise Lucas whether he should sell office equipment in order to pay supplier. Justify your answer. The office equipment is fully depreciated, so selling it will not only improve profitability, but it will also improve the liquidity, and thus the business will have part amount to pay the debt. Although it is not fully being financed. If this equipment is still in use and is in good condition, despite being fully depreciated, then it should be kept with the business, as replacement equipment will be more expensive. To pay off supplier, bank overdraft or bank loan could be availed. Are you all with me? Am I clear? The business can also mortgage this equipment to pay off the supplier. Bank overdraft or bank loan can be obtained. The business can also mortgage this equipment and try and raise finance. Am I clear? State one other use of the general journal. बहुत सारे reasons हो सकते हैं. Correction of errors, recording of non-cash expenses, sale and purchase of non-current asset on credit, जब fully depreciated asset को बेचते हैं तो gain on disposal आता है. Fully depreciated है लेकिन working condition में है, तो उसको बेच देने का मतलब है आप उसको बेच देंगे पर आप उसकी रिप्लेसमेंट में कुछ खरीदेंगे वो और महंगा मिलेगा. उसके बाद वैसे बेचारे के पास पैसे नहीं है. जी कॉन्ट्रा एंट्रीज भी जनरल जर्नल में रिकॉर्ड होती हैं. India is concerned about the increase in inventory over the years to 31st October 2022. She is considering reducing her selling price to increase the quantity of goods she can sell. Advise Adya whether she should reduce her selling price. Gross profit margin and rate of inventory turnover has inverse relationship. If Adya will reduce her selling price, her gross profit margin will reduce, quantity of goods sold will increase, quantity of goods sold will increase, hence hence her rate of inventory turnover will also increase. It will also reduce the storage cost. It will also reduce the storage cost and decrease chances of obsolete inventory. Are you all with me? Then one of the limitations of financial statement is that there is a gap between the end of the financial year and preparation of financial statements. Explain how this limitation may influence Adya's decision whether or not to reduce her selling price. The difference between the financial year end and the reporting date the difference between the financial year end and the reporting date is called events after reporting period, in which the inventory is counted. Whenever the difference between the financial year end and the reporting date is called events after reporting period, in which inventory is counted. Okay. If inventory count shows that the inventory is not so high, then reducing selling price will reduce profits. Am I clear? Trade one advantage of using the impress system for petty cash. The amount paid is kept in check under control. हमने petty cash का amount आइडेंटिफाई किया होता है उससे ज्यादा खर्चा करने नहीं देते. चलें जी सी खुद करें. Clear? Complete the table below by placing a tick to indicate which documents each item appears on. क्रेडिट परचेज इनवॉइस भी होती है और स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अकाउंट में भी आता है. द बैलेंस ओइंग बाय नाजमीन टू अ सप्लायर एट द एंड ऑफ द मंथ, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अकाउंट. परचेज रिटर्न्स, credit note, statement of account. Trade discount deducted from list price, only invoice. Payment made to credit supplier, statement of account. State the accounting principle which is being applied when irrecoverable, prudence and matching. Explain why the following interested parties would want to know the level of Ravi's trade receivables. Bank manager, so that he knows how much amount he should expect that will be received by the business. Also to assess the credit worthiness of the account holder. Trade payables. If receivables are greater than payables, the payables are assured that they will receive the amount due to them. Agree? Ravi sends out statement of account to credit customers and charges interest on overdue accounts. He is concerned about the loss caused to his business by irrecoverable debts. He is considering employing a part-time credit controller to contact credit customers by telephone and to start legal action on overdue accounts if necessary. The credit controller would be paid $6,800 per annum. Advise Ravi whether or not he should employ credit controller. If credit controller is employed, it will enable the business to collect debts from receivable earlier, improving the liquidity of the business. Moreover, it will also reduce chances of bad debts, thus reducing moreover it will also reduce chances of bad debts, thus reducing the expenses and improving the profits. Are you all with me? Moreover, if the amount saved by credit controller is more than if the amount saved by the credit controller is more than the amount lost on irrecoverable debts, then he should definitely be hired. But if amount saved is less than his salary, then his existence is not needed. Are you all agree? Also, if business will lose customers because of credit controller, then also he is not needed. बात समझ में आ रही है? क्रेडिट कंट्रोलर कौन होता है? भाई लोग वसूली करने वाले, जो वसूली करते हैं पैसों की। जब वसूली करते हैं तो वो जबरदस्ती सख्ती से भी वो करते हैं। जब वो सख्ती करेंगे तो क्या कुछ कस्टमर्स टर्न ऑफ हो जाए, बोले कि भाई हमें इनसे मालूम। But he is disappointed in her cost of production and gross profit. She is considering buying in her products instead of producing them in her factory. Advise Pari whether or not she should start to buy in her product, justify your answer. देखेंगे खुद से पहले, लिखे फिर मैं लिखवाता हूँ। जल्दी लिखें। अच्छा, Done. Clear? Pari is disappointed in her cost of production and gross profit. She is considering buying in her products instead of producing them in factory. Advise Pari whether or not she should start buying in her products. Justify answer. If cost of production is lesser than purchase price, she should continue to produce, as the difference between purchase price and cost of production is factory profit. Similarly, if cost of production is higher than purchase price, then she should buy the product. Furthermore, if the quality she makes does not exist in the market, she should continue to produce. Are you all with me? सबसे पहली चीज तो कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन और परचेज प्राइस का कंपैरिजन है. कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा है तो बाहर से खरीद ले, कम है तो परचेज कर ले. कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन कम है तो खुद बनाए, ज्यादा है तो परचेज कर ले. खुद बनाने का खर्चा और बाहर से खरीदने का खर्चा जो डिफरेंस है, दैट इज द फैक्ट्री प्रॉफिट. क्वालिटी अगर वो जो बना रही है वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं हो रही बाहर से खरीदने, तो बाहर से खरीद सकती है, बना क्वालिटी अगर बहुत इसकी सुपीरियर है तो शुड कंटिन्यू टू प्रोड्यूस. अग्री? ब्रांड इमेज, market perception, value addition will also be considered when deciding whether to discontinue production. Am I clear? Identify the statement of finance in which the balance on the rent receivable account will appear. रेंट रिसीवेबल अकाउंट जो होता है उसका अगर क्रेडिट बैलेंस है, अग्री, current asset if rent received is accrued, current liability if rent received is paid in advance. Am I clear, everyone? Preeti and Paisley are planning to purchase more properties to rent out. They are considering forming a limited company as they believe it would make easier for them to raise finance for the purchase of property. Advise whether they should form. अभी लिखवाया था थोड़ी देर पहले. I hope अब आप लिख सकते हैं. Yasmin is hoping to decrease her cost of production in future. She thinks if she spends the further 25,000 factory machinery, she will be able to reduce the cost of direct labor by one third. Advise Yasmin whether or not she should buy extra factory machine. Just give her answer with two advantages and two disadvantages. Buying an extra machine will increase non-current assets of the business. Agreed? The quality of products might improve. Extra units might be produced. क्या consistent? नहीं समझ में आया, वापस बोलो. इसका कोई ताल्लुक ही नहीं है इससे. More depreciation will be charged. The amount of labor if will decrease more than increase in depreciation, then extra machine should be hired. अगर नई मशीन जो है वो खरीदने से डेप्रिसिएशन तो बढ़ेगी, लेकिन नई मशीन खरीदने से लेबर की कॉस्ट वन थर्ड कम हो रही है. तो जो लेबर की कॉस्ट कम हो रही है वो ज्यादा हो रही है, डेप्रिसिएशन कम है, तो इसका मतलब फायदा होगा. आर यू ऑल विद मी? अभी लिखवाया था इसका जवाब. लिखे एक दफा खुद से, फिर मैं पॉइंटर्स बना देता हूँ. हरी अप. दोनों पार्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है, दोनों दोनों करें, फिर मैं डिस्कस करता हूँ. हरी अप. इतने को सीखेंगे इसके आपसे कमेंट कर एडवाइस होता है कह रहा था अमला has been given the opportunity to pay her rates by monthly by direct debit. लिख लिया। डायरेक्ट डेबिट देने का एडवांटेज क्या होगा? प्रॉपर रिकॉर्ड्स मेंटेन होंगे, बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन हैकल हो जाएगा, काम बढ़ जाएगा, चोरी के काम कम हो जाएंगे, टाइम कंज्यूमिंग हो जाएगा, लेकिन एक्सेप्ट कर लेना चाहिए क्योंकि फायदा ज्यादा होगा। बैंक चार्जेस भी एक्स्ट्रा लगेंगे बिल्कुल। The directors of K Limited wish to improve the liquidity and profitability of the business. The finance director suggested that the business should reduce the amount of inventory by 50%. Advise the trader whether or not they should reduce the amount of inventory. लिखवाया अभी थोड़ी देर पहले। अमाउंट ऑफ इन्वेंट्री बिल्कुल रिड्यूस करनी चाहिए। ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट मार्जिन स्लाइटली कम करें। उससे क्या होगा? सेल्स बढ़ जाएगी। जब सेल्स बढ़ेगी तो इन्वेंट्री टर्नओवर बढ़ जाएगा, लिक्विडिटी बेहतर हो जाएगी और प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी नेट प्रॉफिट मार्जिन भी बेहतर हो जाएगा। आर यू ऑल विद मी? इसको एलैबोरेट कर देना। K Limited allows its credit customers a period of 60 days to pay their accounts. For the year ended 30th September 2017, the trade receivables turnover was 69 days. Agreed? State whether K Limited should be satisfied with the trade receivables turnover. No, because receivables are taking more days than are allowed. K Limited is allowed 30 days to pay its accounts to its credit suppliers for the year ended. Its trade payable turnover was 52 days. Discuss how this may affect K Limited. अब 30 डेज की जगह 52 डेज में पे करेंगे तो अफेक्ट कैसे होगा? Discount received will be avoided. Interest on overdue accounts will increase. Relationship with suppliers will ruin. Am I clear? चलें खुद से करें फिर मैं डिस्कस करता हूँ जल्दी से Okay, so Dave owns a business selling furniture. The following transactions took place during the year. August 9, sold goods on credit to Petra. तो बिजनेस डॉक्यूमेंट सेल्स इनवॉइस होता है. हाँ हाँ, लेकिन हमें तो आना चाहिए ना. सेल्स इनवॉइस, सेल्स डे बुक. डू यू ऑल एग्री? पेट्रा रिटर्न गुड्स टू देव. पेट्रा ने रिटर्न किया है देव को. हम देव के अकाउंटेंट हैं. ठीक है, तो देव के लिए सेल्स रिटर्न है. अग्री? कौन सी बुक में आएगा? सेल्स रिटर्न डे बुक. अग्री? बिजनेस डॉक्यूमेंट क्या होगा? क्रेडिट नोट. बैंक कैश सेल्स कैश बुक. बिजनेस डॉक्यूमेंट रिसीट. रिसीट इनवॉइस दोनों चलेगा. Petra settled her outstanding balance on 1st August by credit transfer after taking cash discount of 5%. Cash book, statement of account. Am I clear, everyone? Identify the section of Dev's statement of financial position in which balance of Petra's account will appear. Current asset. Do you all agree? चलें अगले पार्ट्स को जवाब दें पहले फिर मैं डिस्कस करूं हरी Yeah. They've allowed his credit customers a cash discount of 5% for prompt payment. He is considering reducing this to 2%. State one advantage, expenses will reduce. One disadvantage, he will lose customers or they will pay late. Agreed? Dave is considering turning his company business into limited company. Advise Dave whether he should not do advantage to disadvantage. More formalities, more documentation, more legal considerations. ये सारे disadvantage हो गए. Advantage में क्या लिखेंगे? More finance, uh, limited liability, can issue shares. चलें जल्दी से. Complete the table by placing a tick in the correct column to indicate the effect. Complete the table by placing a tick. ठीक है. Issue additional debentures. Equity. Debenture से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Issue ordinary shares. Increase. Payment of ordinary dividends. Decrease. Proposal of ordinary dividends. No effect. Transfer of retained earnings to general reserves. No effect. Am I clear? अच्छा जी. Profit 16,000 है. Profit margin 6.67 है. Gross profit margin 29.58 है. Return on capital employed 25.81%. Comment on the performance of Carlos business. अब कमेंट करने के लिए आपको इस बात का ख्याल करना पड़ेगा कि पिछले साल के रेशियोज क्या थे. ठीक है. अब लेट्स से अगर पिछले साल के रेशियोज लेट्स से पिछले साल ये 20,000 था, ये 8% था, ये 25% था, और ये 30%. तो आप परफॉर्मेंस में कैसे कमेंट करेंगे? लिखिए, डिक्टेट कर रहा हूं. The profitability of the business has worsened. The profitability of the business has deteriorated या worsened. The profit margin has fallen. The return on capital employed has fallen. But gross profit margin has improved. Indicating that the business has poor control indicating that the business has poor control over expenses. The business has poor control over expenses, because of which the profitability is deteriorating. Because of which profitability is deteriorating. Here, Carlos is concerned that the business bank balance has shown a large decrease. He is considering either investing more cash from his private funds or obtaining 2-year bank loan. Advise which option he should select. लिखिए. When Carlos will invest more cash, if Carlos will invest more cash, it will increase his capital. It will increase his capital and equity of the business. Moreover, it is a permanent source of finance which he cannot withdraw. No interest will have to be paid on it. And since it is not to be repaid, and since it is not to be repaid, it will not have any liquidity crisis. Full stop. On the other hand, bank loan will have to be repaid after 2 years. Bank loan will have to be repaid after 2 years. Interest will have to be paid on it. Liability will increase. And it will not be a permanent source of finance. मतलब वापस करना पड़ेगा. अब ओनर ने इन्वेस्टमेंट करी तो वो वापस नहीं करनी, ठीक है ना. लेकिन अगर लोन लिया है तो वो टेम्पररी सोर्स ऑफ फाइनेंस है, परमानेंट नहीं है, वापस करना पड़ेगा. एडवांटेज ऑफ बैंक लोन रह गया खाली इसमें लिखना. एडवांटेज ऑफ बैंक लोन में लिखें the advantage of obtaining bank loan will be it will provide for short term liquidity. It will provide for short term liquidity. Introducing additional capital is the best option. Introducing additional capital is the best option. State the name of one party other than himself and his employees who would be interested in Carlos financial government because of tax, bank because of the loan, suppliers because of whether they will be able to pay customers to check the brand image. Cash sales had not been recorded in the books of accounts. Error of omission. Purchase invoice 190 has been credited to the account of P Hill instead of D Hill. Error of commission. Check of 240 has been entered as 420. Error of complete reversal. Advise Razia whether or not she should sell on cash terms only. हाँ 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 आखिरी वाला ट्रांसपोजिशन मैंने भी ट्रांसपोजिशन ही बोला अच्छा सॉरी ट्रांसपोजिशन ही है क्योंकि 420 और 240 हो रहा है ट्रांसपोजिशन ही है भाई ओमिशन कमीशन ट्रांसपोजिशन advise Razia or whether she should sell. Liquidity will improve. No chances of bad debts. ये दो एडवांटेज हो गए दो डिसएडवांटेज customers buying on credit will be lost. Cash stolen and frauds will increase. Are you all with me? Saria is considering forming a partnership with a friend Amy who runs a similar business. Advise Saria whether or not she should form partnership with Amy justifying her answer. ये भी हमने बहुत पढ़ा है मोर फाइनेंस आ जाएगा एक्सपर्टीज मिल जाएंगी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज शेयर हो जाएगी शेयर्स प्रॉफिट शेयर हो जाएंगे डिसएडवांटेज हो गया डिसहार्मनी हो सकती है बिजनेस बंद करना पड़ सकता है Aniola is concerned that her bank balance has decreased significantly during the last year. She is considering how to improve her liquidity. Suggest one effect of each of the following. Hire new non-current assets instead of purchasing them. It will not impact the liquidity. Delay paying credit suppliers. It will not impact liquidity. दोनों से liquidity adversely impact नहीं होगी दोनों से हमें margin मिल जाएगा cash का तो दोनों में आप लिखेंगे that liquidity will not be adversely affected. Agree? And cash will not go out of the business. Advise Hazik whether or not he should maintain double entry bookkeeping system. लिखें मोबाइल छोड़ दें और फोकस से लिखें जल्दी लिखें डबल एंट्री बुक कीपिंग होगी तो क्या होगा? प्रॉपर अकाउंटिंग रिकॉर्ड्स होंगे। अग्री? और प्रिवेंट एरर्स एंड फ्रॉड्स। ठीक है जी। टू डिसएडवांटेज: टाइम कंज्यूमिंग, एक्स्ट्रा कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व। हाँ, लेकिन जब आप बनाते हैं ना तो ओवरऑल एरर्स कम हो जाते हैं। Complete the table to indicate the effect of each error on profit and on working capital. Repairs to office equipment had been entered in the office equipment account. तो प्रॉफिट्स ओवरस्टेट हो गए, वर्किंग कैपिटल पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा। नो एडजस्टमेंट्स हैड बीन मेड फॉर इंश्योरेंस प्रीपेड। अगर इंश्योरेंस प्रीपेड है तो जब इंश्योरेंस कम करें, लेस प्रीपेमेंट करेंगे तो एक्सपेंस कम होंगे, एक्सपेंस कम होंगे तो प्रॉफिट बढ़ेगा। अभी प्रॉफिट अंडरस्टेटेड है और वर्किंग कैपिटल भी अंडरस्टेटेड है। इफ रिकवरेबल डेट हैड नॉट बीन रिटन ऑफ, प्रॉफिट ओवरस्टेटेड है, वर्किंग कैपिटल भी ओवरस्टेटेड है। नो रिकॉर्ड्स हैड बीन मेड फॉर एडिशनल कैपिटल इंट्रोड्यूस, नो अफेक्ट, अंडरस्टेटेड है। क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री हैड बीन ओवरस्टेटेड, क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री कम करूंगा कॉस्ट बढ़ जाएगी, प्रॉफिट कम हो जाएगा, तो प्रॉफिट ओवरस्टेटेड है, वर्किंग कैपिटल भी ओवरस्टेटेड। आर यू ऑल विद मी? After correcting errors, Nazim compared his results with those of his brother Aziz, who has a similar business. State two reasons for difference in each ratio. Current ratio में क्यों difference है? Aziz has more current assets than current liabilities. Aziz का current ratio बेहतर है। Aziz has better liquidity than Nazim, लेकिन ये पूछ रहा है reasons for the difference. यही लिख सकते हैं, Aziz has more current assets, Nazim has more current liabilities. लिक्विड या एसिड टेस्ट रेशियो, Nazim is overpiling his inventory. Aziz has a good inventory control. Return on capital employed, Aziz has better profitability, Nazim has higher capital employed. Nazim discovered that his rate of inventory turnover was also lower than that overseas. Suggest one reason he is overpiling inventory. Nazim is concerned about the length of time his credit customers are taking to pay their accounts. He is considering operating a strict credit control policy requiring customers to pay within 30 days. Advise Nazim whether or not he should वही सारी बातें क्रेडिट कंट्रोल स्ट्रिक्ट होना चाहिए होगा तो वो टाइमली पे करेंगे वरना बैड डेट्स हो जाएंगे डिस्काउंट देना चाहिए इंटरेस्ट ऑन ओवरड्यू अकाउंट चार्ज करने चाहिए एम आई क्लियर नेम ऑफ द बुक ऑफ प्राइम एंट्री इन विच आयशा वुड यूज टू obtain the following information when preparing her sale ledger control account sales returns day book discount allowed cash book interest charged to customer on overdue accounts general journal contra entry general journal. Suggest two reasons why the sale ledger control account has a credit balance of 420. Credit balance sale ledger control account में कब credit balance sale ledger control account में कब होता है? Number one, when the receivable has overpaid our business. Number two, when the goods are returned after being paid for it. Are you all with me? Advise Jabir on two actions he could take to improve his gross profit margin. Increase selling price, reduce cost of sales. Jabir wants to increase his credit sales and is considering allowing his credit customers an extra 14 days above his trade receivables turnover. Advise Jabir whether he should allow his credit customers extra 14 days. He should not allow because it will cause liquidity crisis. It will delay payments to payables. Chances of bad debts will increase. Profitability will reduce. Consequence. ये भी हमने बहुत बार देखा हुआ है. Simon's sister Yasmin is also in business and depreciates a delivery vehicle using reducing balance method. Simon is considering whether to apply reducing balance method or depreciation to his delivery vehicles. Advise Simon whether he should apply reducing balance method depreciation. Justify answer. लिखिए delivery vehicle is a high tech item. Delivery vehicle is a high tech item which is which loses its value which loses its value relatively quickly in the earlier years than in the later years. If reducing balance method of depreciation is charged on it, if reducing balance method of depreciation is charged on it, More depreciation will be charged in the initial years. More depreciation will be charged in the initial years than in the later years. And the burden of asset will be appropriately distributed, will be appropriately distributed, because when the asset is new, because when the asset is new, it has little or no repair and maintenance charges. It has little or no repair and maintenance charges. And when asset gets older, and when asset gets older, the burden of repair and maintenance starts increasing. When the asset gets older, the burden of repair and maintenance starts increasing. Thus, to equally distribute the burden of asset, thus to equally distribute the burden of asset, more depreciation is charged in initial years when there is no repair and maintenance, and more depreciation will be charged and less depreciation will be charged and less depreciation will be charged in the later years, and less depreciation will be charged in the later years when repair and maintenance cost will be high, when repair and maintenance cost will be high. समझ में आ गई बात? Shiv had withdrawn 900 for a family holiday during the year. He had included this in expense. Name the accounting balance Shiv should have applied when recording business entity concept. Shiv have always valued his inventory at cost price. He is considering value the inventory at selling price as he believes it will result in higher profits. लिखिए inventory is valued at inventory is valued at lower of cost or net realizable value. Inventory is valued at lower of cost and net realizable value as per prudence concept. Clear? Changing the method of inventory valuation, changing the method of inventory valuation to earn higher profits is not permissible, is not permissible as per consistency concept. as per consistency concept. Done, clear, understood? Complete the following table. Building new extension, capital expenditure as rates on new extension, carriage cost of roof tiles for new expenditure, legal cost for new expenditure, repairs revenue. Is everyone following me? और राइट जी, अब जो थ्योरी है ना वो आप लोग रियलाइज करेंगे बिल्कुल सेम है, तो अब आप लोग खुद लिख सकते हैं, बहुत लिखी थ्योरियां। कल का टारगेट, परसों पेपर है, तो कल का जो टारगेट है, मैंने पहले टाइम क्या बोला था, चेंज करना पड़ेगा। 5 से 9 इसलिए कि वो अगले दिन जो है ना वो A2 अकाउंटिंग वालों का भी नेक्स्ट डे पेपर है, और उनका कल दोपहर में भी पेपर है, तो वो पेपर दे के आएंगे, तो उन्होंने रिक्वेस्ट किया हमें 7:30 से 9 पढ़ाएं। तो अगर मैं उनको 7:30 से 9 पढ़ाता हूँ, तो इसका मतलब मुझे आप लोगों को 3 बजे शुरू करना पड़ेगा, 3 से 7:30, 3 नहीं तो 3:30, 3:30 से 7:30। मुझे हमजा से रिक्वेस्ट करनी पड़ेगी बात, क्योंकि मैंने ही उसको पहले जल्दी का बोला था। ठीक है, मैं आप लोगों को थोड़ी देर में क्लास के व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे कल का शेड्यूल अपडेट कर, ठीक है? टारगेट सेट कर लें कल का, टारगेट फॉर टुमारो। टारगेट फॉर टुमारो, मुझे रिकॉल करवाएं लास्ट पास पेपर हमने क्या सॉल्व किया था। लास्ट टारगेट हमने क्या सॉल्व किया था, मई जून 2022, अक्टूबर नवंबर 22 भी कर लिया था, मई जून 22 भी कर लिया है, तो अब हमें 21 पे आना है। तो कल का टारगेट इज अक्टूबर नवंबर 21 एंड मई जून 21। अक्टूबर नवंबर 21, अक्टूबर नवंबर 21 ऑल वेरिएंट्स, मई जून 21 ऑल वेरिएंट्स, एंड हाईली लैकी है कि क्लास 3:30 टू 7:30 है, बट आई विल स्टिल कंफर्म एंड अपडेट। ये टाइम ज्यादा बेहतर है, ठीक है? मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि मैं और अर्ली या तो हमजा की करवा दूं, ताकि तो बस इसके बाद आप लोगों को पढ़ने का जो है ना वो अकाउंटिंग के बाद और कुछ ना पढ़ना, देख ले। थैंक यू, आई विल सी यू ऑल टुमारो इंशाल्लाह फॉर द लास्ट क्लास बिफोर पेपर 2। पेपर एमसीक्यूज के लिए तो फिर वापस नेक्स्ट डे से मिलेंगे ना। थैंक यू जी, अल्लाह हाफिज।